Megan's mom's name is Joyce, so she wanted to have the middle name be type of something on her side of the family. So we shortened Joyce and made it Joy, so it's Ashley.
Well, first of all, this ain't Megan's mom's baby. This is our baby.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, Coach, thank you.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, but
Did you tell her she ain't got nothing to do with this baby? This is our baby.
It is still a nice gesture.
She can be the grandmama when the baby gets here, but just be the grandmama and sit down, shut up, and let us worry about naming the baby and all that stuff.
Coach, what you got in that tea?
Yeah, really.
This is my head coach. Hold on. What's up, man? For sure, I have to. I'm coming. I got you. I'm coming see you. Appreciate you. All right, man. Later. That's the man telling me he got my check. He said, you come by and see me tomorrow? I said, hell yeah.
I'll cancel the show for my money.
Is Irvin not on today?
Irv can't make it. He had a chance. He said he got to work.
Hey, Tom. Okay, so who's excited for Fast 9?
Oh, I am for sure.
Who's going to go see it this weekend?
I'm going to go see it for sure.
Who?
Hey, Fast and the Furious #9 come out this weekend.
F9.
Oh. I haven't seen F1. F1.
Miss Carey, don't tell nobody else that.
Yeah.
We gonna keep that in the family right here.
Okay.
I'm glad we ain't live yet. Cause I don't want people eating you up saying you hadn't seen F9. We're gonna keep that right here.
Tom, are you working Thursday or Friday night?
I'm going out of town. I'm gonna see it somewhere.
Okay.
All right, folks, we about to go in and get started. Let me see what time it is. I'm gonna give everybody 1 minute. Then we're gonna start in 1 minute.
Yeah, I got 7:59.
Jay said we can begin whenever we get ready. Tom, I'm gonna have to go see that movie somewhere else. I got to go see it. I might have to watch it up in Nashville while I'm up there.
Oh, Friday morning? Damn, I got to work Friday.
Nash Vegas.
Miss Carey, the world traveler. How long were you out there with Chris Paul?
Not very long.
My bad, Tom. I know it is. But you know I'm going to come see you, Tom. You know you're my dog. All right, folks, it's 8 o'clock. We got Tom in the building. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. Look who's back. Miss Carey is in the building. We're going to call Miss Carey CP BC. We know what that is, don't we? Yeah, baby. Chris Paul Booty Call. Yes,
Oh.
I thought it was Chris Paul before COVID.
That's what I thought.
How you doing, Miss Carey?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry I missed y'all last week, but I'm glad to be here. I'm ready to talk. Ready to talk to Chris Paul and Trae Young. Let's go.
You have always been beautiful, but boy, you got a smile on your face today.
Yep.
Hey, Miss Beasley, What's going on, Travis?
No, not much. Just glad to be here. So always love being on the show. So just glad to be here. Excited about these NBA playoffs and F9 coming out this weekend. So looking forward to seeing that.
Travis, every week we're going to let you do what we call a GU. And we're going to give you about 30 seconds to give us a GU, and that's a Geraldine update. So we want you to give us an update on how Geraldine's doing. Geraldine, Travis.
Well, first of all, I don't know who Geraldine is, so I don't know anything about Geraldine. But we'll do an AU. How about that? We'll do an AU. Ashley, an Ashley update. Ashley's doing well. Progressing. Yeah, baby Geraldine. No. Ashley's doing very well. Coming along. Still projected to be here right in time for football season, late August, early September. So we just, mom and dad came down to see Megan and I this weekend. We put up the crib and the bassinet and the little rocker thing, and so we got all that taken care of. So we're getting everything all taken care of. We're doing good.
Well, Tom said Happy Father's Day, so we're gonna extend Father's Day. I know it's a little premature, but we know she's on the way, so we're gonna go ahead and wish you a happy Father's Day. I want to say Happy Father's Day to Tom and Jason and Travis and all the fathers out there who watch this show, Mr. Peavy, and finally said for Miss Peavy too, because Miss Peavy does half of Mr. Peavy's work all the time, as far as him being a father. So Miss Peavy, happy Father's Day to you too. So, anyway, we'll even say happy Father's Day to little Mo Goody. I don't know if Mo Goody's out there somewhere being a father, so we'll give him a happy Father's Day too. Folks, we got a lot to talk about today. I can't wait to get into some of this. We're going to start with the NBA playoffs because obviously we know there's a lot going on there. First of all, let's talk about the unbeatable team that got beaten, which was the Nets. I was shocked, of course, that they didn't make it. However, they weren't really the Nets because people weren't there that we thought was going to be there. So I'm going to look at Miss Carey now, and I'm going to go ahead, baby. I know you're ready to unleash on me about these Nets. So go ahead and talk to me, Carey. What you got?
I don't got nothing to say about the Nets. I'm trying to figure out why are we leading with the Nets? Why are we leading with the lose? They're not even playing.
Thank you.
We are leading with the Nets.
The fact that we're leading with the Nets is a slap in the face right now. That is a slap in the face.
We are leading with the Nets because they are still the biggest story because they lost. Because just like we led with the Lakers when they lost, because they were supposed to be making it to the finals. The finals were supposed to be Lakers versus Nets. That didn't happen. And that was supposed to be the dream matchup that everybody was waiting to see. And now we don't have either one of them. Neither one of them is there. Go ahead, Travis.
Coach, okay, I'm going to disagree with the fact that you're saying the Brooklyn Nets are the biggest story, but if you're going to go with the fact that we're going to talk about the team that is out because we went with the Lakers, you know what the number one story on ESPN was yesterday? The 76ers. It wasn't the Nets. It was the 76ers losing and Ben Simmons and his awful shooting performance. So they're more of a story than the Brooklyn Nets were that they didn't.
Well, they are. And let me say this. I would say they're equal. I would say they're equally. But again, it damn sure ain't Atlanta Hawks. Let's make that clear. It ain't no damn Atlanta Hawks. I bet you that. I bet you they ain't a damn story. So like I said, at the end of the day, the story is really about the teams that should have made it and didn't for whatever the reason. Now, I got my 1B on here as being the next story, being Ben Simmons and how he single-handedly ousted his team from the playoffs. But nonetheless, I still think that because of the fact that they didn't get there. That's a big story because everybody thought when you had, that trilogy down there with KD and Jackass and James Harden, that was the formula for success. But I mean, obviously, we can talk about this more. You can't keep them three guys on the floor at the same time because of one reason or another. So that's more the story, I believe. Now, moving right along, we can talk about Ben Simmons. And I told y'all a few weeks ago, it was painful for me to watch Ben Simmons out there trying to shoot free throws. Now, I didn't see the play the other day. Maybe Jason has it, and he can boot it up about how Ben Simmons had a dunk and didn't go for it because he's afraid he'd get fouled and have to shoot free throws. I didn't see all that. I heard about it, but I didn't see it. So is Ben Simmons a bigger story, Miss Carey, than the Nets not making it?
Then what?
Then the Nets not making it? Is that a bigger story to you?
I think they're both stories of losers.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, first of all, for the Nets, they didn't figure they can do it on their own. So they built a super team. They broke people's hearts doing it. Think about like James Harden, I just want out. Okay, so we're going to let you get out. Leaving those fans, leaving that team in disarray. And then for him to come and get MVP nods and possibly win a championship, I was not trying to have it. I was not trying to see him get that in a year like this year. But Ben Simmons, I really do like Ben Simmons. I like his game.
Why?
Because I like his handle. As you can tell, look who I'm a Chris Paul fan, right? So I like floor marshals, and he is in control of offense, but he can't bring any offense. So they need to he's getting overpaid like crazy, right? If they brought him to just pass the ball and get rebounds and play some defense.
How tall is Ben Simmons?
6'4". No, 6'6". No, he's taller than that. I'm thinking of.
I'm about to say, I think he's like 6'10".
Yeah. I think so. I think you're right. I'm thinking of Devin Booker. Hold on.
When you're 6'10", I don't need you to have handles. If you got handles, that's extra. When you're 6'10", I need you to be rocking the rim. I mean, that to me is part of the problem with Ben Simmons. If he's really that big, he needs to be going to the hole and taking to the people to the hole just about every play. He needs to be doing what Giannis does. How tall?
6'11".
6'11". I give a damn about your handles in 6'11". I need you rocking the rim. I need you posterizing people gamely. Like every game, you need to be posterizing people. And if that's not happening, I can't use you at 6'11". I mean, when you're 6'6", or when you're 5'9", like Chris Paul is, you need to have some handles. But when you're 6'11", I don't want to hear about no damn handles. I need you to be able to go in there. Obviously, you got to learn how to shoot some free throws, but you need to be taking people to the hole on a regular when you're 6'11". Travis, what do you say?
Yeah, in terms of the whole Ben Simmons thing, I agree. Like, you got to find a way to shoot some free throws and be a somewhat consistent scorer. You're not being asked to put up 20 points. Like, you need to at least, 15, and he's a superstar. 15 points a game, and he's a superstar. And he can't get 8 or 9. And we see his free throws are just terrible. Like, I think it's all a mental confidence issue for him. I think Philadelphia may be the worst town for him to be in at this point, because Philadelphia fans will never let him hear the fact that he laid a stinker in this entire playoffs, especially in this playoff series. I think he needs to get out of Philadelphia. If I was Philadelphia, I would try and trade him to anyone that's going to take him.
Who's going to take him? Who would take him?
Well, I've heard rumors of him being traded to Portland for C.J. McCollum. So Ben Simmons can play with Damian Lillard, and then C.J. McCollum can then be the ball handler for the 76ers. I think that's a pretty fair trade. They're both max player guys. One plays really good defense. The other one has really good offense. So, each team is kind of getting what they don't have. And so I think that could work, but I don't know.
The only team I think Ben Simmons can play for right now is the New Jersey Generals. That's it. That's the only team that I think he played for right now, in my opinion.
He is.
And for those of you who don't know who that is, that's the team that plays against the Harlem Globetrotters all the time. That's the only team I think that Ben Simmons can play for right now. Or he might be able to be a Harlem Globetrotter. Because he could go out there and his whole gimmick could be how he can't make free throws. And everybody just, because that's the whole team. They like to entertain people. And people be falling out laughing over the fact that his ass can't shoot a damn free throw. Because, it's at that point now where it's like a joke.
Oh, yeah.
That this man makes all this damn money. And, I have a client that has a gym. And every time I go in her gym, before I work her and her husband out, I get up there and shoot free throws. And today, I'll just put them in one hand like this and just throw them. And I hit like 8 in a row. I do all right. I guarantee I don't make as much money as Ben Simmons does. And I'm in there just knocking them down with one hand. And I'm like, can you believe this duck plucker can't make these doggone free throws? And I'm sitting there just draining them one by one. This duck plucker making all this money, and I'm just knocking these things down with one hand. Because I had a boxing glove on one hand. I pulled my glove off like this, and I was shooting them with one hand, just knocking them down. And he can't make a doggone free throw with both hands. And that's his job. And he can't make them.
Listen, isn't it a little suspect, though, that Markelle Fultz went through this same thing under the Philadelphia system?
Yep.
He
was picked, wasn't he one?
Number one.
But we have different coaches, though. Markelle Fultz.
I'm talking about, but he was a scorer in college.
Oh, I know. I agree. Well, but my whole point is that they're under different coaches. If it was the same coach, I might argue with you and say, well, there might be something there. That might be something with the coach. This is a different coach. So here's my thing, because Ms. Peavy just said he has a lot of work to do in the offseason. He needs to start working on his free throws right after the game on Sunday. Ms. Peavy, please don't say that, because that's the same thing Doc Rivers said. Doc Rivers said something that I would fire his ass for. He gonna sit up here and talk about how, me and him got to get in the gym. And why are you talking about that now? How long have you known this, and why didn't y'all do something about this long time ago? Why didn't y'all start this after game 1 when they were fouling his ass every time they possibly could to try to win the game, and they came back and beat y'all then? For them acting like all of a sudden now, we got to get in the gym with Ben and work with Ben. Are you telling me you just figured that out? Why in the hell hadn't that been done before now? Travis, what do you say about that?
No, I think you're right. And what I was about to say was, I think Doc Rivers needs to, I'm not saying he needs to be fired, but his job needs to be on the chopping block, because this team was everyone's pick coming out of the East, unless it was Brooklyn. It was down Brooklyn and 76ers. And you lose to the Hawks. And I'm not trying to diss on the Hawks when I say that, but on paper, the 76ers should have wiped the floor with the Hawks, right? And you had a home court advantage, and you lost 3 home games in a 7-game series. That can't happen when you're the number 1 seed. So I think Doc Rivers is in some serious trouble. I don't think he's going to be fired this year, but I think if next year they don't at least probably make the Eastern Conference Finals, I think he's gone. Because his playoff record is not very good if you take out the one year that they won the NBA Finals with the big 3 of Garnett, Allen and Paul Pierce.
Is this his first year in Philly or second? I don't remember.
This is, I believe it's his first.
I think it's his first year too.
First. Yeah,
I think it's his first.
They fired Brent Brown last year to get Doc Rivers, and Brent Brown didn't make it any less far than Doc Rivers did, and he got fired for this. So
now I'm telling you what Stephen A. I heard him say today. He said, "Dude, I used to work in Philly." He said, "Ben Simmons is done in Philly." He said, "They ain't never gonna let him live that down."
Yep.
He said, "I'm just gonna tell you that right now, because I mean, dude, it was bad. It was atrocious, and it was hurtful watching him play in these games. And you could just see on his face there was no confidence, and especially when it got down to kind of nut cutting time at the end of the game, and Ben Simmons is like trying to stay away and not have to go to the free throw line. It was just sad. I mean, really, really sad. So I think that there's a big issue there, and I don't know how he stays. I just don't know how he stays in Philadelphia.
I agree, and I know we need to move on to at least other playoff games real quick. But I'll say this for Philadelphia, and I think Embiid is a spectacular talent. I think he's probably top 5 in the league, but I don't know if they're going to win a championship with him being their best player, because in this day and age, having the center be the best player in your team, I don't think it's going to work in the playoffs, because you have to get him the ball, and he's got to create so much, and it's difficult for a center in the league to do that. And he's not Shaq, right? I think Shaq could probably do it when he was in his prime, but Joel Embiid ain't Shaq. So they may have to take a long look at how they built their team too, because Embiid is fantastic, but I don't know if they're winning a championship with him being the best player on their team.
Hey, Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler said, "Trash your daddy." Anyway, let's move on. And this is another thing I'm gonna say here. We're gonna talk about the finals now. I'm not going Eastern Conference Finals. We're not gonna ask Miss Carey who she got, because we know who she got.
Yeah, we know.
And I'm gonna say this: at least Miss Peavy is admitting what a lot of people doing. Miss Peavy said, "I've jumped on the Hawks bandwagon." Yep. Now, Mr. Peavy is a homer. He's an Atlanta fan, and he's always gonna root for the Atlanta team. So, Mr. Peavy, I will congratulate you for your Hawks winning, because I know you just a homer and whatnot. And Miss Carey, I'm a congratulate you for your team winning, even though your superstar Trae Young, he is so annoying. I can't wait till they lose, because he is just annoying. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I mean, no money ain't but a little thing anyway. But that little joker's so annoying. I can't wait till they get this beat down. But Travis, who do you have in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I have the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Atlanta Hawks in 6.
Miss Carey.
And I don't see any way them. They don't have anyone that to me that can consistently stop Giannis. The one thing I will say real quick about the Bucks, I really like the Bucks. I think that they're a really, really good team. They are known to have they're a really good 3-point shooting team, but they will have off nights. And when they have off nights, they're not going to hit above 85 points, and the Hawks are going to beat them those nights. But I don't see them having 4 off nights, so I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Miss Carey, talk to me. What you got, Miss Carey? How many games your team going to take to win it all?
I got the Hawks in 6.
Hawks in 6?
Yep.
Why 6? Why not 4? Why not sweep?
Because they're playing the MVP, the 2-time MVP. I don't think he'll lose. I don't think he'll get swept. He was able to come back from behind with the Nets, so I don't think that he'll allow that to happen again. So he's gonna grind it out. But I got us in 6.
Okay. Now, before I give my prediction, I'm gonna say this. If you saw the interview they had with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who used to play for Milwaukee back in the days of the ABA and all that other stuff, said that there is no way this Milwaukee team can win a championship. He said there is not this team here. He said there is no way with the current team that they have in place right now they can win a championship. He didn't say they couldn't go to the championship. He just said they will not win one. It's impossible. He said that the other day. With that being said, I'm saying that Milwaukee is going to damn sweep the Hawks. If they don't sweep them, it'll go 5. I'm going to give Atlanta 1 victory. But I'm saying that this is going to be a sweep or 5. 4 or 5, Miss Carey. 4 or 5. That's it. That's my prediction. That's my prediction on that series. Let's talk about the West. Miss Carey, I know who you got in the West too, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell us how many games. Who you taking in the West?
Ooh, I got the Suns, and I got the Suns in. I got the Suns in 5.
Ooh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Why 5, Miss Karen?
So listen, I think Paul George is going to come through for one of those games. Paul George and some other role player.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is going to. He carried them through that last series. I don't think that he has it in him consistently enough to do so in this series. If Kawhi comes back, we might have a different conversation. But for right now, Chris Paul is coming back, so they're only going to get better. And while Paul George and his team are going to get exhausted, so I got them. I think Suns are going to run them all over the floor.
Well, I just got 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
One is your prediction about Chris Paul because of your trip out there and the amount of love you put on it. And number 2 is a rumor that you're the one that gave Chris Paul COVID.
You don't have to answer that.
You are silly.
That's what I'm hearing, Miss Carey. I'm just telling you, inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiry minds, no need. There's no need to wonder.
Travis, what you got, Travis?
I have the Phoenix Suns in 7. I think this is going all the way. I think the Clippers are a much better home team than they are road team. I think this is going to be a series where the home team is just going to win every single game. And even with Chris Paul coming back, and the Suns won the game on Sunday. And yes, Chris Paul wasn't in there, but neither was Kawhi, and the Suns only won by 6 or 7 points. So, it was still anybody's game pretty much the whole time. And at a Rockets Phoenix, I think Phoenix can pull it out because they're the home team, but I think it's going to go 7. I'll go 7.
Let me ask both of y'all this. In all that factoring that you've done about how many games and this and that, do those games, do those analysis include Kawhi coming back? I mean, do y'all have Kawhi coming back? You think this is going to happen because Kawhi is not going to be there?
I have him coming back.
I don't have him coming back. I think he's out.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to say this.
But I said if he came back, I might have something different to say.
Okay. So you reserve the right to be able to change if he comes back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say 5 again here. I'm going to say it's going to be a 5-game series. And I'm going to say it's going to go to, as much as I hate to say it, Miss Carey, it's going to go to Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to take it. I like the way Phoenix is playing right now.
Yeah.
They're looking like the team to beat to me. So regardless of who wins in the East, right now they're looking like the team to beat because they're just playing real good basketball. Booker's raised his game to a whole nother level, and he's looking like the player that many people thought he was growing to be in. some people are dubbing him now the next Kobe, and that kind of stuff. Yada yada yada. I know he's got a very good game, good handles, a good mid-range jump shot. Obviously, he can dunk and do all that kind of stuff. He's a good defender. So, like I said, I'm kind of being sold on Devin Booker. I mean, Chris Paul, whatever. But Devin Booker, he's the guy. I mean, he's definitely the guy. So, but like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and give that to them. So, question for the last NBA thing we'll talk about right here. Will we see next year? Because every year from here on out could be LeBron's last year, including this past one. But will we ever see the matchup that everybody wants to see in the finals with the Lakers and the Nets? Travis.
I'm gonna go with yes. I think we'll see it once, and if it happens, it's going to be next year. I think Brooklyn is one year off from just dominating. If you historically look at most super teams when they have like three guys, typically their first year they don't win, and then they have that off season to kind of figure out the one or two missing pieces that they need, and then they start killing people. I think Brooklyn's going to come out next year, and I think Brooklyn may win the whole thing next year. And I think LeBron is going to be on a mission because I think he's about to retire. And it wouldn't surprise me if they get one guy, whether it be CP3 or some other, star player to come play for the Lakers. And I could see it happen next year. So
okay, Mr. Peavy said, "Nah, they won't all stay. They won't all stay put for us to see it." That's what Mr. Peavy said. Miss Carey, what do you say?
What was the question again?
Will we ever get to see?
Oh no.
This game between the Lakers and the Nets, the dream matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess no. I think that we're learning, right, that super teams are not in it right now, except for maybe the Clippers, if you consider them a super team. I think the narrative is going to be it requires more luck if you have three superstars, right? I say it'll never happen because I don't see the three big names and the Nets ever making it through a season healthy. I think somebody's always going to be. Kyrie is injury prone. If KD's got to bear that weight, he'll be on the sidelines more often. And I don't know what's up with James Harden, but I think that I don't see them making it to the final because I don't see them staying healthy throughout the season to get there.
Okay. I will say this, and I'm going to agree with you, Kerry. I don't think that we'll ever see it happen for some of the same reasons that you said. I think that you've got, obviously, the Nets are injury prone. KD is built like a scarecrow. I mean, he is way too light in the ass. He way too skinny. And, the game is very physical. And so he's going to take some bumps and bruises and catch some knees here and there and whatnot. It's going to be too much wear and tear on him. Kyrie is always sick. Even when his body's well, we all know he's sick in the head. So Kyrie is just always sick one way or another. And he just got too much going on. And I don't know if you'll see that. And James Harden, I mean, anytime your name is Black Jesus, you suspect anyway. So, James Harden is going to be James Harden. And a lot of times he might just be pretending he's sick just because he don't feel like playing. So it's just too much drama going on with that team. And when you have drama like that, you need somebody like Phil Jackson or somebody like that to be able to coach that team, maybe even Popovich or somebody. But Steve Nash, who has no kind of record or no kind of experience coaching and all that, it's too much. When he gets done coaching, he's going to write a book about the nightmare that he's been in as a coach for these three divas out there. And I mean, so that's only one team too, because the other team has their own set of problems. The Lakers, I mean, they're making like a new movie about AD, about Glass Man Part 2. I mean, AD made out of glass. And I mean, he's always breaking and falling and something getting hurt or whatever. Yeah. And then we all know LeBron, and I love LeBron. But at the end of the day, LeBron is getting old. And I mean, it just might not happen. When a super team is put together, the guys have to know their role and be happy with their role for the team's sake. Look at the super teams that have won a championship. They accepted their role. Thank you, Mr. Peavy. And I mean, the Nets, we thought that somebody was going to accept their roles or whatever. Everybody's going to fall in place, but they never really did. And at the end of the day, one of them would have a big night. Then the next night, somebody else had a big night. And they were kind of rotating it and passing it around. But as the talk kept getting more about, well, KD and Harden is better than KD and Kyrie, or Kyrie and Harden is better than anything with KD in it. And once everybody started doing all that kind of stuff, you could tell that, people kind of getting their feathers ruffled a little bit about that. By the way, they came out the next night and played. So I don't know if you'll ever see that for those two reasons. Go ahead, Travis.
Real quick, just two points from everything that you just said. One, in terms of KD, you said he's injury prone. He's had one injury in his career. He may be like
a big one.
I understand. I'm not saying that, but he's only had one. It's not like he gets injured every single year. Yes, it was a big one, but he's only been injured once, okay? And with the way the game is officiated, if he gets hit in the arm, it's a foul every time, so he can't be hit a lot. So, yeah, he's skinny, but he's so tall and he's so good, he doesn't get hit a lot.
Let me tell you something.
Wait 1 second. Even his injury that it was an Achilles thing. It wasn't like he was like getting beat up. He just landed and it just happened. Second of all, for every super team that's ever been, the first year has always had problems. Look at the Heat. The first year they had Wade, Bosh, and James. They didn't win the title. The second year they did because their role players, one, they got better role players in the offseason because they actually learned in what they needed to do and who they needed, so they went out and got them. And two, the role players that stayed on the team knew what their role was going to be. They had a whole year to gel, and they were unstoppable that second year. And that's what I think is going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, the Celtics won the first year. Congratulations to them. But most of those guys I don't know if the Warriors won the first year that they had KD and Steph and Draymond. I think they won the second year. I thought the first year they were out. So
I think they did win the first year. I'm with Jason. I think they did. If I recall correctly, they did. But I'm gonna say this to you, Travis. My thing is this: you can look at AD, and I know that AD is 7 foot or whatever the case may be, and everybody knows he needs to be in some neck bones and gravy in the offseason. I mean, he needs to put some size on. Come on now, Miss Carey, you can probably help him out with some hand marks or something. I mean, he needs to put on some weight. He needs to get his ass in the weight room. Watch Michael Jordan's The Last Dance or whatever they called it. I mean, at the end of the day, he said, hey, I knew that next year I need to get in the weight room and put on some size and some strength. This is what bothers me. Now that the season's over, if you go on AD's Twitter page or whatever, his ass is probably in Dubai somewhere with a bunch of strippers and this and that, and driving his Lamborghini up and down the street and popping wheelies on motorcycles. Why do these guys do that instead of work on your craft? I want to hear about how you need time to unwind and digest and all this stuff. Man, get your ass ready for next year starting right now. And I don't know why that is. That's why I have the problem with these professional teams. Because all they're behind me down there at Magic City instead of doing what they need to be doing to get ready for next season. And I mean, if you would work right now, starting right now, you could put on 30 pounds and be able to manage that 30 pounds for the season next year. Because, I mean, a lot of these dudes are malnourished anyway, and they need to put on some size. So that's what bothers me, like this whole Ben Simmons thing. Like somebody said, that night when he was getting fouled so that they could win that game, he should have grabbed him a damn intern or a ball boy or somebody and said, hey, dude, your ass ain't going nowhere tonight. You're going to be in this gym with me shooting these damn free throws until I can at least hit like 20 in a row. And until I hit 20 in a row, we ain't going no damn where. But, I mean, it's the next game. Same old shit. I mean, are you kidding me? The very next game, it's the same thing. And the next game, and the next game. And, I mean, shame on him. Shame on the whole franchise for allowing that to happen. Now, I'm not saying he can shoot free throws overnight, learn to, but he can be a whole lot better than what he was. I mean, that was just embarrassing to watch for a professional NBA player. So that's my take on that, and I'm leaving it at that. Ms. Carey, you got anything else to say?
Go Hawks.
I know that's right. All right, move right along. Guys, I saw some interesting articles this week that I think I'd like to get the feedback from our audience and whatnot about. And it has to do with college football. We're going to talk about some other things. We're going to talk about the big thing about the NCAA last. But first, I want to talk to you about some lists I saw that I thought were really, really interesting. They were talking about the best college football players ever of all time. Anybody see that article? Anybody, Travis, you see that? Here it is, Jason got it right there. Could you believe they put Tim Tebow at number 10? The best football players of all time. And Tim Tebow was number 10. See, Jason, I promise to God, I'm going to put it down right then. I didn't even want to know who number 1 was when I saw that. I ain't want to see. Look now, Jim Thorpe. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, that's back when you can fold your helmet up and put it in your pocket, all that. Jim Thorpe was a bad boy. I'm going to tell you that right now. Anybody who's played this game has heard the name Jim Thorpe, and I agree. Go ahead, Jason. Go back to number 8. Show me number 8. Number 8, that's a bad man right there, yep. Jim Brown. And I thought that was injustice to Jim Brown being number 8. Go ahead, Jason. Number 7, Ricky Williams. Again, I'd have put Jim Brown in front of Ricky Williams. Agreed. Keep going, Jay. Number 6, O.J. Simpson. I was kind of struck by this too because I felt like, dang, I mean, the Juice was he one of the baddest men on the planet back when he played. And I thought he should have been a little closer to the front. Keep moving it, Jay. Number 5, Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell was a punishing runner. Had good speed, decent speed and whatnot. Number 5, though, I'm not sure I put him at number 5, and I'm not sure I put him in front of OJ. Keep rolling it, Jay. Number 4. Now, listen, now we talking about the baddest players ever. Bo Jackson at number 4. Ooh, I could argue either way with that. And after I thought about it, I'm like, that might be a good place for Bo. I could take Bo at number 4. Number 3, Jay, Barry Sanders. I thought this was an injustice. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I felt Barry should either been 1 or 2. Now, if you'll notice, there's a lot of running backs. Yep. I mean, like, after Tim Tebow dumbass, all the rest of them been running backs. And I'm like, dang, this is like all running backs they're talking about. Go ahead, Jay, number 2. Second best ever, Archie Griffin. I thought that was way too high for Archie Griffin. And I know he's like the only guy who ever won 2 Heisman trophies. Yep. And I'm sure that's why they put him there.
It's hard to argue with 2 Heismans, though, Coach. Like,
it's easy for me to argue because I watched him. I saw him play. I saw all these cats play. And I don't think that Archie Griffin, and I got you, he got 2 Heisman trophies. But let me show you who they put number 1.
Marcus Allen.
Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was number 1. And I lost it on this one too because I know Herschel was good. Now, I put it all in perspective when I saw that this article was written, and you can see it up there top by 24/7, 247 magazine. When I saw that, I was like, okay, because I think that there's a big bias on this because it was written by 24/7 magazine. So, but I just thought that this whole list was so unique because look at all these running backs. As Jason's throwing back through this, 1, 2, 3. Their number 4 is, keep going, Jason. 5, running back. 6, running back. 7, running back. 8, running back. 9, running back. And then dumbass Tim Tebow. But the top 9 guys, you talking about the greatest players of all time, their number 11 is running back. They have so many running backs.
Who was 11? I missed who 11 was. Sorry. Okay.
Charles White.
Okay.
Still don't have Marcus Allen.
Yeah, no Marcus Allen.
See, that's what I'm saying. Look, when you look at this list, I was shocked. Yeah, I was even shocked to see Deion at 14.
I thought
Deion was one of the most electric college players ever. Ever.
Two other guys I'm surprised aren't up there is Oni Davis. I thought he was going to be up there. And Charles Woodson. That was the other guy I thought was going to be up there.
Charles Woodson played receiver and DB.
And punt returner and kick returner.
Now, when I looked and saw this article, they had Brian Bosworth's picture on the front. And that's the reason I looked at it, because I said, his ass better not be number 1. I'm telling you that right now. Because I thought they would have his ass being number 1. That's the reason I read the article to begin with.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you believe that? Baker Mayfield at 21.
Did he even win a national championship?
Hey, you haven't seen Marcus Allen yet.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen Oni Davis.
They got Baker Mayfield in front of Marcus Allen.
I haven't seen Oni Davis either.
Dude, I just thought this article was really, that's why I wanted to discuss it on this show. And
Hey!
I'm with you right there, Mr. Peavy. Mr. Peavy said Rocket Ishmael was a great college player. Yes, he was. And you just saw where he was, where Deion Sanders was. I think he was like 14 or something like that.
Marcus Mariota? Wow.
I know. Can you believe that? Can you believe they got Marcus Mariota up there? Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie, wow.
I mean, threw a Hail Mary, threw a ball up for grabs. Okay. And somebody slipped on a banana peel and caught it. And so now he's number 21.
Vince Young's better than Doug Flutie in college.
There you go. Marcus Allen at 30, Travis.
Wow.
30. 3-0.
Yeah.
Behind Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and where's George Rogers?
Roger Staubach way down the list. Lamar Jackson, that's your boy, Travis.
Eddie George.
Guys, this list is, even Reggie Bush was electric when he played.
I think that's too low for Reggie Bush.
He's in the 30s.
I think that's way too low for Reggie Bush.
Wow.
I've never even heard of that guy, and where the hell's Tony Davis?
I mean, I tried to give respect to some of these guys that I never heard of and didn't know. Obviously, there was a time when they were great and did their thing. But, I mean, the ones that I do know, that Vince Young is at 44. Dude, whoever wrote this article does not like quarterbacks. I can tell you that much. I mean, a former running back must have written this article. Marshall Faulk at 47. 47.
Huh.
And there you go. Steve McNair led it off at 50. So anyway, I just thought it was an interesting article that I wanted to bring to y'all's attention. Ms. Carey, any thoughts on that article?
Nope. I don't know a whole lot about college ball. I'm only like 4 or 5 years into it. Although I recognize the names, I don't really know enough to rank them.
All right, Travis, what do you think about that article?
Yeah, I think that's terrible. I think it's terrible. Some of those guys on there, not that they weren't good players, because they were, but way out of order. That's just a terrible article. That's awful.
Watch this, Mr. Peavy. Watch this, Mr. Peavy. Miss Carey, where did Randy Moss go to college?
Marshall.
Marshall. Travis, what do you think about Randy Moss?
In college, or either way, he was unbelievable. He was ridiculous. You couldn't guard him. You could put 3 guys on him and still not guard him.
He wasn't even on the list.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so shocking. And don't get me wrong, all due respect to everybody they put out there. I don't want to be, that's somebody's uncle or somebody's granddad or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you don't see names like Randy Moss on there, I'm like you, Irvin. I didn't see many. I don't know if anybody from the U was on there. I mean, nobody from the U. Speaking of the U, that brings me to the next article that I heard about. Travis, you got the U all messed up. It's
I'm
like
trying to
this.
get it in the camera. My camera's there. See?
No, your fingers all jacked up or something. This is what you were doing right here. What the hell is that? I mean, that's what you look like. It's the U, boy, like this. The U. That joke was doing a bunny change. I need Jason to replay that so everybody see your fingers all jacked up. Anyway, I know you got that.
Oh my gosh.
There you go, Jay. Anyway, the next article was about the colleges over the last century who have produced the most NFL players. Okay? Anybody see that article? Who would you think is number one, Travis?
What's the time frame of the list? Like all time or
century? The last century.
So from 2000 to now?
The last 100 years, Travis. God dang.
Well, I'm just.
I mean, you do know how to subtract the 100 from the current year, right? You gotta be kidding me. Holy shit. Good God.
I was never a math major, but to answer your question, my guess would be.
Start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, exactly. Ashley needs help. I'll go with Southern Cal.
Mr. Peeps just said Alabama. Travis said Southern Cal. What say you, Miss Karen?
Miami.
Miami. Ooh, all of y'all are wrong. The number one college team that's had the most players go to the NFL is Alabama's number 2, Miss Karen. Ohio State is number 1. And Miami is further down the list. I want to say they're around I think they're in the top 10, but I think they're around 8 or 9, if I remember correctly. And I was shocked when I saw that list because it's not what you would think. I mean, I would think there'd be more players from Oklahoma, and Oklahoma was way down the line.
I actually almost said Oklahoma. That was almost going to be my second guess.
Yeah, and I mean, they were way down the line. So, but the answer, and it shocked me, because I would have thought Southern Cal before I would have thought Ohio State. But Ohio State is indeed number 1. So that's just a couple articles for y'all to go out there and try to look and find if you want to read them. They're interesting, just seeing the numbers and seeing who's where and whatnot. Last thing we're going to talk about, because this is a big one, and I know we've only got 9 minutes left. I hope everybody saw the article that was in there about the Supreme Court putting a smackdown on the NCAA about these athletes not being able to make money. And I don't know who that one justice is on the Supreme Court, but I'm sure his daughter or his wife or him or somebody in his family was done wrong by the NCAA because that justice was all over them. He's like, I don't know how y'all been getting away with this crap for as long as you have, the way you've been treating these. Who else gets to treat their employees this way? Because these kids are your employees. These kids are making money for you and all these universities and everything, and you treat them like crap. And I don't know how you've been getting away with it for as long as you have. But he totally spanked them, saying that these kids should be getting compensated for everything that they do, not just books, not just education, for their likenesses and all this other stuff. Everybody should be getting a piece of this cake. So, did you see the article, Travis? And what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't see the article. I just kind of read the headline of it. I'm torn, right? Because I get it, but at some point, if you go down this path in terms of paying your college players, right, which is, it looks like this, with everything that's heading, you may end up doing that. What's to stop it from going to high school?
Well, I think maybe they should pay him in high school too. I mean, I'm good. I'm game. So.
Well, then the amateurism would then be completely gone, right? Then you're straight who's the highest bidder at this point, and I think it could really, really, really hurt college athletics.
Why?
I think
why
it's gonna whoever the highest bidder is going to get the player. So the smaller schools, you're never going to see any small schools anymore.
That's not true, Travis. I mean, at the end of the day, those schools need players too. Everybody can't go to Alabama. Everybody ain't going to Alabama now. There you go, right there. The NCAA is not above the law. Hey, me and Justice Kavanaugh, and he's a conservative judge too. From the article I read, that's the article I read. It was a great article. You need to read that article. But this is what I'm saying to you, Travis. Why does the NFL work? How does the NFL work then? Why doesn't everybody go play for Kansas City or for Tampa Bay? Why is that? Why do you still have the Atlanta Falcons? Why do you still have these sorry ass teams? Because according to what you just said is that if they do that in college, all the low colleges, the lower level colleges, will be wiped out.
You have a salary cap.
Okay, well, why can't you have a salary cap in college?
That wasn't the question, though.
But you said it wouldn't work. So I'm saying if it works in the pros, why couldn't the same system work in college?
Again, that wasn't the question you asked me.
You said, Travis, that if we did what the NFL is doing and we paid everybody like they do in the NFL, that the lower colleges would not survive. Why? I'm waiting for an answer.
I just don't think it'll work. I don't have an answer. It's a gut feeling, I guess. I just don't think it'll work.
Okay, let me move on to Miss Carey. Miss Carey, what do you think? Will it work or not?
I think it has to work. I think that, first of all, my question would be, are we going to retro? Is there any conversation about retro paying some of the players that came through the NCAA system?
I damn sure hope so, because I'm ready to get my money.
There you go. But I think that, it's not the colleges that are where these individuals are gonna earn money. It's also the endorsements, and then this guy's jersey. When they sell his jersey, he gets the money instead of the NCAA. And
thank you.
The way that they can make money. The top TikTokers today, the top one earns $22 million. And so if they can make money doing TikTok videos, then I think that these youth that are playing in the NCAA sports should be able to at least profit off of their name.
Let me say this to you, Travis, especially Miss Carey, YouTuber, and to everybody listening. in 1989, the last paper I ever did for Vanderbilt, I created a company called Sarco. It was an imaginary company, and it stood for Student Athletes Receiving Compensation Organization. SARCO. Sarco is what I called it. I talked about how athletes should be being paid. And the reason why I said that is because you don't know, Travis, how when a single mother sends her child off to college, like my mother did, my mother lost probably $40,000 of income when I went off to college because that's what I was making and contributing to my household. How does my mother survive now that I'm off in college? Yes, I'm being paid and taken care of and food and all that stuff, but my mother isn't getting any money. She lost income because she lost a worker and a provider for the household. So the bottom line is that I would love to be being compensated so that I could give back to my household where I came from, who put me in the situation that I'm in right now. And I don't think anybody ever thought about that. And that's why I put that in my paper. To make a long story short, I made an A+ on this paper. And the lady who I turned into said, I am going to submit this to the NCAA because they need to see it. I also talked about how the colleges often purely do athletes wrong by, I was number 6. Eric Jones, who was number 5, was our quarterback, who was up for the Heisman Trophy. In our bookstore, when we were seniors, every jersey had number 5 and number 6 on it. Who knows how many of those jerseys were sold? Eric and I got absolutely zero for them. If you're not exploiting me when you do that, then why don't you just put 2021 on all the jerseys in there and let people go out and buy them jerseys and wear? How many you think you're going to sell if you just put 2021 on? What they always do is they take the 2 or 3 most popular athletes, put their numbers on all those jerseys, put their name across the back of them, and then they sell it. How is that not pure exploitation of me when you do that and I don't get any of it? So you know what? You damn right. You can say that I'm my ass is chapped about it or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's what's been going on. And I'm so damn glad somebody finally, I wrote this article in 1989. I wrote this paper in 1989, and it's just coming to fruition now. So you damn right I'm happy about it, and I think it should be done. Big Papa, what you think?
I mean, y'all been though. I've been on side of players getting paid for forever. I mean, it's simple. It's you can't have an industry make $1 billion and pay your people zero. Like that's insane. And then Travis, like college football is already broken now. So you think paying players is going to break it even more? It's only 4 teams that are good in college football. So do you be like, oh, it's going to destroy the sport or ruin the sport? How? Because the 4 teams are going to get even stronger than they already are. Like you're
gonna have so many good players anyway.
Yeah,
you're gonna have so many players. Everybody else got to go somewhere else anyway.
It's been college football's been jailbroken for the last 25 years. So it's not even. Let's stop the game like it's this great equity sport that everybody has a chance. Hell no. I can tell you right now. Are you ready for it? Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. Pick your 4th one. I just did the college football playoff, guys.
Yeah.
Mark it down now. Mark it down. Put your bets in. Like, come on, man.
Okay, I have a question.
You forgot, Jason. It's Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't know who that was going to be.
And not South Carolina, right? Okay.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I mean, we knew that. That was built
Ain't
in.
nobody that damn crazy. Ain't nobody that damn crazy.
Okay, I do have a question for you guys then. Okay.
Okay.
You can't just single out one sport, right? You can't single out football, right? You have to include basketball and women's gymnastics and water polo and right? So how does everyone get equally paid? Because
no, they don't.
Because they're all athletes. Or
No, they don't.
How do you work that then?
I'm gonna tell you the same way they do it now. Each sport, I'm gonna tell you right now, football subsidizes just about every sport at the school. Cause you know what? Nobody plays to go see a lacrosse game. They be out there begging people to come in there and watch. They got interns out there shooing people into the stadium, trying to get them in there. They like, listen, we'll give y'all free soda, free popcorn, we'll give you a damn stick after the game. Just come inside. Anybody. So I don't want to hear that shit, Travis. Because the bottom line is that if your lacrosse ain't bringing no money in, ain't no money coming out.
True.
Ain't nobody buying Jim Dombrowski's jersey in the damn bookstore to be wearing around campus.
And if somebody does buy Jim Groskowski's jersey, Jim would get an extra $2-3. He'd be good. Like,
and give him his $2 and keep it moving.
Right. And then also everybody put out prayers for Tom. I know he is, I think, July 6th. Tom at the movie tavern's probably going. I think he may have surgery, open heart surgery too. So real surgery, not just working on the pinky. So everybody keep your prayers out for Tom. And then I think the last thing I had on this was that Carrie, you have been completely right in this playoffs. I've learned now just to shut the hell up and just listen and follow your lead, because I think I've gotten none of my picks right and you've gotten all of them right. So I bow down to your dominance in this field and bow out. So
hold on, let me get my formal bow down and let me say, but your ass is wrong this time.
We'll see, because I've been right the whole time, like Jason has been saying. I sent you the quote when you said, who else thinks who thinks the Hawks are going to pull this out? And you said Carrie and Quavo. Well,
you and Quavo was right.
I hear you. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. As always, we want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. The Peavies, Mr. Butler, Tom. We appreciate all y'all for being here tonight. Want to thank Miss Carrie, who's back with us from her trip to the desert. Want to thank Travis, and we're gonna pray for Miss Little Geraldine. Hope she has a good night's sleep tonight.
Geraldine Ashley Joy.
I'm trying to tell you, that sounds good. I like that. You see how that just rolled off Jason's tongue?
Yeah.
That was nice, Jay.
No.
Jay, as always, we appreciate you for being on the ones and twos back there. I love reading your comments out here, and you make the show. So anyway, guys, we got to get out of here. Good night, Miss Francis.
Travis, what's a century? What's a century, Travis?
He said 10 years.
He said